What is good, friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and I'm here to help you assume the position of who it is that you want to be, because remember, you are the only thinker in your reality. Thus, you can do, be, and have whatever it is that you want in this reality. Okay, you guys, so today we're going to talk about dissolving unwanted circumstances. And what do I mean by dissolve? Okay, so we know that there are tons of lifelines. You have to think about from where you are now. From where you are now in this present moment, which we are in the eternal now. In this moment, anything can happen from this moment. Any lifeline can appear from this moment, okay? So you have to think about the fact that if you want something to dissolve, such as your negative bank account, that 3D circumstance that you don't like, you and your SP not being together, if you want those circumstances to dissolve, you have to put your awareness, your attention on something else. And this all starts by, of course, knowing that you are the only thinker, you are the only decider, you are the source of everything. And if you know that from right now, being here present in this moment, any circumstance can play out, then you know the power is within you. Right? So the first thing you want to do is control your focus. Where are you focusing from? Are you focusing outside of you, just on your 3D reality, eating it up like, oh my gosh, like this is going on, I can't believe this is going on? Are you paying too much attention to the outside, or are you paying attention to the inside by who you are being on the inside? Are you being the person who now is successful, who now has money? And the thing is, you guys, I know that it seems like it has to be a process, but that just is a story that you tell yourself. This does not have to be a process, because the thing is, your negative bank account today, or you and your SP not being together today, has nothing to do with tomorrow, because tomorrow is another eternal now. Right? So it's not like this whole experience, this linear experience where you're like, oh, it's a process in order to get there. No, it's from deciding that now you are in the state where you want to be. This doesn't mean now that you're a negative bank account and tomorrow they don't link together. They only link together because you link them together, right? So if you wake up tomorrow thinking the same thoughts as you thought yesterday and keep putting your focus back on what you don't want, you are making that linear experience. But if you only decide to switch over, and this makes it so easy by knowing that you are the source. And if you don't know that you are the source, then I can understand how this could be a little tough. But moving your awareness back to being the source of it all, then it's easy for you to decide to choose something different at any moment, every present moment. Doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes ago, doesn't matter if it's 1 second ago, 1 minute, whatever. Right now, I am the person that has the finances. All my needs are taken care of. I have so much money on its way towards me, right? Because where you're thinking from now, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. Like I said, for one person, the negative in the bank account might mean, oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end. I don't know how this or that. But there's another version of you that looks at that negative in the bank account as being like, oh my gosh, I have so much fucking money coming in because I have to have so much money coming in, because why would I be in the negative, right? Why would I be in the negative? I must have a lot of money coming to me, right? Two totally different lifelines, two totally different versions of you, okay? So this is where you are thinking from it internally, you guys. Internally, not externally, internally, from where you are dwelling within, where the source is, where you are at the center of your universe, okay? So remember that there is nothing and no one to change outside of you. This is about changing you. Change self and the world conforms. So who you're being inwardly is causing you to act from that place of who you are being and the behaviors that identity of. So the next thing, a lot of us get caught up in the avoidance. A lot of us keep our 3D circumstances around because we are avoiding the 3D circumstances instead of ignoring. So we talked about this in another video. Avoiding means that you won't even look at the circumstance. You hate the circumstance so much that you are giving it way more power than just looking at it and saying, oh, this is temporary. It's already changed. This is the old version of me. This is how I was thinking a minute ago. This is how I was thinking yesterday. Oh, you keep thinking about it and just say, okay, Thank God I don't live there anymore. I don't live in that reality anymore, right? But it is in the avoidance and not wanting to see it and rejecting that version of yourself. In that rejection is why your 3D circumstances still hold up, but you dissolve them when you're neutral about them. Remember? So in the polarity, there's one side of you that is rich AF, and then another side of you that does not have no money at all. But in the middle is where that neutrality meets, and where you are centered within, being neutral and indifferent to your 3D circumstances. This dissolves the more you don't react. The more you don't react, the more you can direct your attention and your focus back to where you want to be inwardly and live from there. It starts to dissolve. It stops getting loud. It stops wanting to be recognized, because the only reason they keep popping back up louder and louder and louder, because it wants, that lifeline wants to stay current. It wants to stay going, because that's the one you've been feeding it for quite some time, right? But the more you're like, okay, cool. That was cool for a minute, but now this is where we are. Thank you for showing me we don't live there anymore. Then that reality is going to start quieting down and quieting down and quieting down. But the more you emotionally invest in that story that you bought into is what keeps it going, you guys. All right. So it's about moving your focus back inwardly. Who are you being today? Right? And so the last thing I really want to talk to you guys is about just acceptance. That's another thing with the avoidance, is you don't have the ability to accept it. That is just one possible thing. If you accept it and say, cool, that's one possible lifeline. Of course, that's one possible lifeline. I'm source of it all. Of course, it's one possible line. But the only thing and the only reality I'm focused on is the one where me and my SP are in love and he can't get enough of me, or I have so much money that then I know what to do with. That's the only reality I'm focused on. This is the only reality that I am making true, because that is where I am living from within me. And thus I do all things in my reality, thinking from being that person. So it's about persisting. It's about persisting in being the person that you want to be. It's about redirecting your focus. And it's about accepting and not judging the circumstance or that version of you that was that way, because it worked for you at one period of time. So when you could show that version of yourself love and compassion, and you and your self-compassion by being the source of all of it, it dissolves. But the more you say, I don't like that, that's you saying that you do not like you. You're not okay with you, and you think there's something wrong with you. There's not. Manifesting is just a choice, being the choice of who it is that you want to be. All right? So you guys, I'm actually going to leave that video here, but that is literally how you dissolve your 3D circumstances. You are neutral to the ones that you don't like, but also neutral to the one that you do want, because you're all of it anyway, and you don't need anything to be different in order to know that you are the source, okay? So I'm going to leave the video here. Remember, coaching is with me down in the description box below, and I'm going to tag it in the comments. So remember, you guys, imagination is always on your side, and I'm too. Bye.